They
So a
need
degree
us.
in accounting, though, how did that happen?
You know, when I was in high school, they asked you, what do you think you're good at? What do you think you want to do? And a lot of teens don't know the answer to this question. I
Right?
didn't really know,
Me
but
either.
I knew I was pretty good at math. So I said, well, what fields could I get into with and use that skill set? And accounting was one of them. So I decided to get into that field. But I stopped after college. I didn't go on to be a CPA because I knew that it really wasn't doing what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So, but I think that it's helped me all along the way. I mean, I have that skill set.
Yeah.
I sit on the board of American Baptist Churches of Los Angeles.
Okay.
150 churches.
Hello, and welcome to the Leadership Reality Podcast with your girl, Taiji Charity. This podcast is for C-suite leaders to discuss their experiences and provide insight, encouragement, and inspiration for seasoned and inspiring leaders, offering valuable solutions to today's challenges that will inspire, ignite, and invigorate new and seasoned leaders to walk in their God-given authority with compassion, kindness, and empathy. So sit back, relax, and be prepared to be inspired with today's episode of Leadership Reality. Thank you.
Welcome to another episode of Leadership Realities with me, Taiji Charity, where we will be sharing tales from the top. Y'all, today's guest is a leadership giant, okay? Miss Lydia Floyd is the founder and CEO of Hands for Hope LA, a nonprofit dedicated to supporting at-risk youth from low-income households through the STEM after-school program, low-income summer camps, and single-parent resource fairs. With a bachelor's degree in accounting and a master's in organizational leadership, focusing on nonprofit management, Lydia's extensive career includes over 24 years of service to her community. Thank you, Lydia. She has hosted numerous nonprofit workshops, including financial management and succession planning. I need to talk to her about that one. And her expertise spans donor database management, board development, event planning, and nonprofit coaching. Under her leadership, Hands for Hope has been recognized for its impactful work, and Lydia has received several accolades, including the Bank of America Neighborhood Local Hero Award and the Women of the Year Women's Day magazine, and several other awards. That was just to name a few, okay? In addition to her work at Hands for Hope, Lydia actively contributes to her church and serves on the boards of several nonprofit organizations. Her commitment to helping others is further demonstrated through her consulting firm, which is Single Data Nonprofit Consultant, where she mentors nonprofit leaders and provides workshops on effective management strategies. We about to learn today. Lydia, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Taiji. I'm going to just let you know that it's Simple Data Nonprofit Consulting because I really believe that we want to simplify things for nonprofit leaders so that they can accomplish what they're attempting to do.
Thank you. And I appreciate that because I know when I was starting Kids in the Spotlight, you were recommended for me through one of my friends who was on your board at the time, Miss Lachey Did.
Oh, right. Okay.
Dandy. Oh, Lord. Lachey, don't kill me, girl. Don't bush up your last. She got married now.
I know.
So.
It's not Dandy anymore.
Exactly. But anyway, and I remember coming to Hands for Hope, your facility, and just hearing some basic information on nonprofit management. And my question for you at the time was really about that doggone 1023 application. I was like, is it really difficult? And you was like, well, it's a lot of information. I was like, all right, let me roll up my sleeves. But anyway.
Feels like ages ago.
It does.
Yeah.
But thank you. But you've been doing this work and making an impact for a while. So tell me first, just a little bit about Hands for Hope. I know we read a little bit in the intro, but give me the mission of Hands for Hope LA.
Well, I always like to start with why I started that nonprofit. My mother was a single mother, 4 kids, and epilepsy. Hard enough to raise 4 kids by yourself, but to have an illness or sickness. And it occurred to me that there's a lot of mothers out there, or fathers, who are struggling, trying to do it alone. Yeah. So I wanted to be there for them. I wanted an agency that would help them, but also serve their children, which is their primary concern.
Yes.
So the after-school program was launched in 2000, and we started out at a school, Lancashire Elementary School, and had a space there, and then moved over to First Baptist Church where we have a space there, and now we have a site in Van Nuys, and we're located at a school in Pacoima called Vaughan International Studies Academy. So we're doing a few different things, but our main site is still operational with children ages 8 to 18.
Okay.
And then we have a young adult program now for 18 to 24.
Wow.
And they have classes like guitar, drums, piano, cooking, boxing.
Nice.
Every day there's classes for kids in both of the sites. And we do college and career prep with the teenagers at the Vaughn site as well as in the main 2 sites. So there's a lot that we're doing. It's
I love that.
juggling multiple things, and you know about that.
Right. But I love that because we're exposing young people to different career paths, right?
Definitely.
And it's free for the young people to participate
Completely free.
in your program. So you've eliminated the barrier of expenses and finances and all those things.
Exactly.
So, and you've been doing this for over 20 years.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Absolutely.
Thank you for what you do as well.
Absolutely amazing.
It is rewarding for us.
Yeah, and I know your mother must have been, or must be, I don't know if your mom is still with us.
She passed away some time ago, and she raised foster children, which is, I wanted to make sure you knew, 20 foster children she raised.
Are you serious?
Yes, and they carried her coffin when she passed away.
Now you about to
And
make,
so,
don't.
so I know about foster children and was raised with them, right alongside of them, in the household. So, yeah.
We need tissue on the set from now on, because this, I did not know that.
Yeah, so she was an example for me. She inspired me to want to help parents. I remember a single mother sleeping on our couch with her son. She just let her stay with us when she's a single mother herself with epilepsy. So, I wanted to do what she did. And,
Wow.
I wanted to start a business. I knew I was entrepreneurial, but I wanted to start something where I was helping people like she did.
People like that make the world so much better, so much sweeter. Amazing.
In my role as a consultant, I have met some wonderful people, other executive directors and CEOs who are running organizations and doing great work.
Doing the work.
It's been wonderful. It's a second passion for me to be doing the consulting as well as still running the nonprofit that I'm running.
Wow. Well, let's talk leadership, because I want to know, when did you first see yourself as a leader, or when did you first start working in a leadership capacity?
I was trying to remember the answer to that question because I didn't consider myself a leader, and still in some sense, I'm learning right along with everyone else.
Yeah.
But,
well, leaders are forever learners, right?
Exactly, right? Lifelong learners. And I graduated high school at 16, so I graduated a little early. I skipped
so you a child prodigy? Is that what they call you?
I don't call myself that, but I skipped the 3rd grade, so I got out of high school early.
Wow.
And was hired to hire other youth. So my job was to place youth in jobs over the summer in New York. I'm from New York.
Okay.
And that was interesting. I felt like I was a leader at that point, working with other teenagers who were some were older than me, but I was placing them in jobs and getting them to fill out applications. So I guess that was, maybe the first hint of it.
Okay.
And then, in my church, I became the leader of the Rainbow Choir, which is the children's choir when my daughter was young. And I did that for 13 years, 30 years ago.
Wow.
And believe it or not, yesterday was the first rehearsal I just started again.
Are you serious?
As if I don't have enough to do.
I know. Well, when you have a heart that as big as yours, I call her the leadership giant for a reason. You see that, right? But when you have a heart for service, you just don't stop.
Yeah.
You see a need, you see where you can offer and help young people, and you jump right in and you feel it.
Yeah, it's a labor of love. It's just never been
because it's never about the money for especially
money,
nonprofit leaders. Because if you in this for the money, honey, you in the wrong place,
Those
right?
are the type
it's
of
about
people
service.
I'm surrounded by.
Yeah.
That are doing it to help people.
Absolutely. Lifting one another up,
Pure motivation.
especially our young people.
They
So a
need
degree
us.
in accounting, though, how did that happen?
When I was in high school, they asked you, what do you think you're good at? What do you think you want to do? And a lot of teens don't know the answer to this question.
Right.
I didn't really know.
Me either.
But I knew I was pretty good at math. So I said, well, what fields could I get into and use that skill set? And accounting was one of them. So I decided to get into that field. But I stopped after college, I didn't go on to be a CPA because I knew that it really wasn't doing what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So, but I think that it's helped me all along the way. I mean, I have that skill set.
Yeah.
I sit on the board of American Baptist Churches of Los Angeles.
Okay.
150 churches.
Oh, wow.
$26 million in assets, and I am the treasurer of the board.
Oh, wow.
And I've had to like really utilize what I learned
Yeah.
in that role.
Wow. Well, you know, we have that in common because I too have a degree in accounting.
Really?
And it was because I was good at math. That was a long time ago, y'all. I was good at math. And I took an accounting class as an elective in my senior year of high school. And I did good at it. And I was like, oh my gosh, that was an easy A. And you can get a degree in this? I want a degree in this. But what happened was, when I got to college, everything I learned in high school was covered in chapter 1. And by the time I got to chapter 2, I was like, what the heck?
Auditing,
what have I gotten myself into?
statistics. Yeah.
I was like, oh, heck to the no, you know? So but yes.
Came to the same conclusion.
Exactly. But I stuck it out. I still got the degree. I struggled through it, but I did get the degree.
And it helps you now, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's, you know, you can kind of at least look and know that you're understanding, because when you're starting out as a nonprofit, you better know your numbers, and when it's time for audits, everything, checks and balances better work out. But thank God now we have a CFO who kind of manages
Get
it.
a little help, huh?
Exactly, and I can just like, yep, looks good to me. Looks
You
good
trust
to me.
that they're doing well.
Oh,
I have
absolutely.
I have a similar person that is
Yeah.
doing that for me.
But you have to. But to manage 150 churches,
Well,
be on the board of a.
Well, I'm on the board of that organization
organization
and
that-
treasurer of that organization, and you know we're now giving out funds to different people, and my committee oversees that. So it's just like a lot.
Oh, that's a great feeling to be able to give out funds.
Yeah, you know, to help churches that are struggling, because churches, you know, it's not what it used to be.
Right.
You know, they're struggling for members and increase their congregations. So,
Absolutely.
you know, whatever we can do to help them refresh their buildings,
Yeah.
you know, things like that, that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
So that's one role that I have as well.
Understood. So talk to me about just building your team, because I know you're the founder of Hands for Hope, and founders have our experiences a little unique and a little different in building something from ground zero. Talk to me about, how did you build a team around you to share your vision and your heart for young people?
Well, you know, the board is the main team that you start with, and our pastor from my church is our very first board member, and having him
that's
there
good.
was very supportive. It was just made me feel like I had someone I could go to.
Yeah.
Within my team that works for the organization, I really have had to struggle. I mean, I know one of the questions is what is the struggles you've encountered? I think HR is probably the worst part of what I've had to do, only because, you know, you're working with people, and there's some people who are only in it for the money, only there to have a job and make a salary.
And
They
this is
really
not the
don't
place for
care.
it.
They don't have the passion that I have. They don't share that passion, and I can't expect anyone to share it at my level. But at the same time, you know, you would hope that they care enough to make sure there's coverage for the kids, and you know, not just take off randomly or arbitrarily. So you know, building that team has been a challenge, because I've attempted to set an example for some of them, so that they can see how they could be for an organization like this.
Yeah.
And I think there's some of them who truly have a heart for the kids, though.
Yeah.
And that's been wonderful to see them grow in their roles, and you know, put the organization first in some respects.
Yes. So how do you recruit, though? How do you recruit your team?
We are interviewing right now for a couple of positions.
Oh, y'all hear that? Talk about it.
Yeah, we just hired a program coordinator. Okay. We're looking for a teen coordinator, and we're looking for a development coordinator.
Okay.
So, you know, we interview different people. We try to have a first and a second interview. They say hire slow, fire fast. Fire fast, hire slow.
Yes,
but
that's
I've
what they
never
say.
been good at that.
Me
You know, I'm always in a rush to put
either.
someone in, and then take a long time to let someone go.
Yes.
And
I don't even like the
I've had
word
to learn.
fire.
That's why I say HR has been the challenge. You know,
Yeah.
because you don't want to let people go. And we hired from a pool of single parents, which was my heart to begin with. So when you have a single parent who's struggling, and you see them struggling, to have to let them go is a real challenge, you know, and
Can't even think about
I
it.
struggle with it,
Yeah.
you know. So, but I think that, you know, I have been successful. We have, I think, 11 staff right now.
Oh, great.
And have been successful at bringing in the right people on the bus, I like to
Good.
call it.
That's what I call it too. Putting the right people on the bus, getting the right
Yeah.
people. There's a book, I think, entitled
the name
Yes.
of that? Okay, I need to
Having
look
the
that
right
up.
people on the bus. I think I remember that book from.
It makes all the difference.
Yeah.
You know, it makes it challenging to work with people who are not the right people on the bus,
It
and you have a
does.
toxic environment.
It
So to have the
does.
right people on the bus, and they're like-minded individuals, and you can work closely together and get the job done, and work late if you have to, and
Yeah.
take kids on field trips in the evenings, and things that I would do automatically.
Right.
If I have anyone on the team that's willing to do that, then the organization can continue in the manner that I want it to do.
Yeah, that's so good.
What I
That's-
set out to do.
That's really good. That's really good. How accessible are you as a leader? Because when you're building a team and you're multitasking, you're thinking of things from a bird's eye view. How often are you pulled into the day-to-day of the operations and programs and the things, all the things?
Well, as much as I say I try to remove myself a little bit and look at it from maybe 20,000 feet, board members are supposed to look at it from 50,000 feet. I
Right.
need to be a little bit removed. I have to help with homework. I have to chastise a child who's running off. This week had to grab one and kind of make it clear to him that he wasn't running anything. So I've had to do that. We had 3 staff out this week.
Oh, gosh.
So whenever that happens, any small organization, you
feel
have to
that.
step in. You have to
Yeah.
make sure that it can still flow. You can't shut the doors.
Right.
We're still picking up kids from school. We
Right.
still have kids coming in needing help with homework. We still have parents coming by wanting to talk and wanting to know how I can help them. So, giving parents money for food, which is why I call we're not your average after-school program. We're doing
Yes.
things that other programs
Beyond
aren't
the
doing.
mission.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. The parents
You're not in this
know,
box.
They know they can come to us. They know
Absolutely.
that we're there to help them, to talk to them
Yes.
anytime. And
Yes.
I personally am accessible. I try to we have mobile phones now for the staff so that they don't give out their personal numbers, but mine everyone has.
Okay, I feel like I'm talking to myself. Am I interviewing Tai G? Because I feel like I'm interviewing a different version of Tai G.
We are like-minded individuals.
Yes,
Okay.
we are.
We are on the same page and have been for a long time, and I've known
Absolutely.
that. Just from afar.
Yeah.
We don't connect too much because you're doing the same thing I'm doing.
We're
Too much.
working. She said too much. Absolutely. Absolutely. I want to go back to getting the right people on the bus and having to make hard decisions when you know that you don't have the right person, especially you said working with single moms. What is that process like for you? How do you let go? Because the first time I actually had to separate from a staff member, I literally could not sleep for almost a week.
Been there, done that, could write a book about it. Okay. Just this last holiday season, I had one staff person that I had to let go, and I waited until after the holiday was over.
Oh, that's kind.
And did it the first day of the year. But I knew that this is when you have to think of the organization first. This toxicity was not working. And basically this is what I said to the person: it's not working for you, it's not working for me. You're not happy, we're not happy. Okay, we need to move forward. And so it's time to separate. And she didn't really understand, but there wasn't a scene or anything, but she had to leave. And we were able to, from that moment on, everything it's like
Change the
I
whole
felt
dynamic of the
100 pounds lighter.
atmosphere. Yeah.
It really did change everything, and I needed to do it much sooner. I waited way too long. It wasn't good for the organization. So, I'm trying to learn a lesson from that and nipping things in the bud a little bit more.
Good.
Because, I think we did her a favor.
Yeah.
Sometimes people, they need that. They need that little push out
For
the
their
door
next step,
to
for their
start
next journey, for
to
their-
open
yeah.
their next door. So I think that's how I've managed it. But I do struggle with it, and took a little bit longer than I should have to take action.
Understood.
And so HR is the challenge.
HR is the
It's the challenge.
HR is the challenge. Do you have a HR consultant, or you have someone in-house that works just HR for your company?
We hired 2 years ago, mainly because of this person, an HR firm.
Okay.
So that we would make the proper decisions when it came time to do things like that. And they also assist us with the employee handbook and things like that. But to be able to call and ask a question, I just pay a retainer. And it really makes a difference for us where I feel that security. And I also have people on the board who work in HR.
Oh,
so
that's
I
good.
relied upon them, but they're very, very busy and weren't really as accessible as this person is.
Okay.
So this firm has been very helpful to us.
Yeah. Do you find that to be a challenge with board members? You know, nonprofits, we have to have board members, right? Do you find, because they have their own lives, their own full-time jobs, because you want professionals on your board, and sometimes having access to get things done. What is that like for you?
You know, I like to say that my board is the best board I've ever had. That doesn't say that they're the best board I could have.
Oh,
but it's the best board that I've ever had.
That's why she's the consultant, y'all.
And I do board development trainings. I do board development board retreats. So I've worked with other boards and seen ours, and I think ours measures up. But they are busy and just not available. And you have to understand it and accept it. You don't really have much choice. There are, every once in a while, you'll get one or two who really will make time and advocate for you on a regular basis. But for the most part, I haven't really encountered 12 board members all doing everything they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that. Have you?
No.
Okay.
Not yet.
I'd like to know the people who've seen it. I'd really like to get some coaching from them.
Right.
But I think I have been able to really see improvement, and that's why board development is my favorite class to teach, favorite project to do.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I can make a difference because I have walked a mile in their shoes in terms of how to address them, how to operate, how to give, what reporting to give the board members. You know, I've had clients that think that, oh, you know, I don't tell my board about the finance. You have to give them reports.
Oh,
you have to
They're
engage
the
them
governing
in what
board.
you're doing.
They're supposed to know.
In order for them to do one of the two things they're supposed to do, which is govern govern effectively and gather resources. Those two things. If they remember those two things, they're doing what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
So, you know, they can't do that without the information and the data that you provide for them. So I think that's something that I've learned and really focus on. But I understand that they're busy, and you know, you get people who are executives in major companies. And you know, you want them for that reason, and they can get maybe their companies to help you.
Absolutely.
But that also means that they're very busy.
Absolutely.
And not really as accessible as you might like. I had a board member a couple of years back who worked for a reality TV company. And because they're a block away, he was always coming over, working with the kids. He spoiled me. He spoils me because now he's moved away, and I just don't have board members like that. So board members have never met the kids. He knew all the kids' names. He'd come over and talk to them.
Board member.
Yes, he was wonderful, and still is.
Wow.
And we're actually honoring him at our 25th anniversary gala coming up next year. Because we just, in all of the years that we've been in existence, we haven't had a board member who was that engaged.
You know,
it's not the norm.
It is very rewarding when you have that type of board member. My board president is very present like that. He's come to class. He may not know all the names. I don't even know all the names these days, but he'll show up in class. He's at the table reads. He's on set, just making sure they know that he's a champion for them. And he's rooting for their success. He's investing in their future and all the things. But I'm like, if I can only have all of you come, because you have some board members that have never been
right
to the production or anything.
It may not be all, but at least a few.
Yeah.
You know, you need who are more engaged,
hands-on, and as much as they can be.
Right. But I appreciate the board that I have. They are really good and try, and they're all doing something.
Yes.
So I've had the opposite.
Yes.
And so
thank you, board members.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you, board members. So I want to know, just from starting Hands for Hope, did you work for a nonprofit before? Like, how did you learn to be so effective and efficient as a nonprofit leader? So much so that, I look at you as literally just a nonprofit guru, giant, and all the things. How did you get there?
I keep hearing my son's voice saying my mother never used to really even talk to anybody before she started Hands for Hope.
Really?
I was not introverted, but just not that outgoing or not that willing to talk. And I had to learn that skill set if I wanted to do this, and I wanted to do this.
Wow.
So, I think I have done everything I can to learn so that I don't feel, uncomfortable. But I didn't know what a nonprofit was. I was a senior financial analyst. That's the job I took after college in New York at a hospital. so I wasn't really involved in any nonprofit. I guess it was a nonprofit hospital, but I still didn't even really work in that capacity, so I didn't know that.
Wow.
So when I wanted to start the nonprofit, I was working at a law firm here in LA.
Okay.
And one of the paralegals helped me to fill out the paperwork, but I still didn't really understand
To
what
become
it
a
was I was
nonprofit
doing.
organization?
Yes.
Wow.
Didn't really know what I was doing. And now I teach that, you
Yeah.
know, that you understand that not so much what you have to do to what paperwork you have to fill out, but understand what it is you're getting into. It's more than a notion to run a nonprofit.
Yeah. Book knowledge is one thing. We're all for it. We both have degrees. We understand the knowledge of reading. But there's something about walking that path, right? Getting those real life experiences and learning from them, and then being able to go back and help someone else.
Right, exactly. And I really feel that the key thing that I think has kept me all these years is that I don't give up.
I like that.
I don't give up.
I'm a sip to that one, Miss Lydia. I don't give up.
You know, you and I both know that there's been times when you're
yes.
down to the wire, financially,
All the
emotionally, your bandwidth.
You've got nothing, depleted.
And then you have to get up the next day and keep going.
Pick yourself up and put one foot in front of the other and keep going.
Yeah, I had a parent yesterday who expressed to me that he's suffering from depression and trying to take care of his family. And we talked about him pulling himself back up. You know, it's like climbing out of a hole.
Yeah,
And you have to do it.
absolutely.
For the kids' sake, for your sake, you have to do it. And
Remembering
so,
that why,
been
right?
there, done that.
Yeah, absolutely. So who are some of your favorite leaders?
Tai Chi, let's see, Theon, you know, some people that I really watch their progression and watch how they're, you know, moving through the circle that we're in.
Yeah.
That's what I like to do. You know, there hasn't been like a person that I could say is a leader that I follow or anything. But, you know, I listen to the people who have walked a mile in my shoes, you know, just like I want my clients to listen to me, you know. So people who have experienced things, I like us to share that. And in this consulting business that I started, we have an event called Nonprofit Leaders Unite.
Yes.
And at that event, I think I was telling you about it, that we bring in other executive directors to come and talk. And I learn too and listen. And, you know, I always want to hear what's going on with others.
Yes.
And then we have foundations come in as well, and we want to hear what they are looking for.
Yeah.
So I think it's been really helpful to the nonprofit leaders who've come. And we have another one coming up in January. So I'm hoping that you'll be there to speak at that one. And, you know, just really giving back to those nonprofit leaders who just, the slightest little thing you hear can help them. You say can help them. And I went through, I'm going to be teaching at the Center for Nonprofit Management.
Oh, great.
That was a place I spent a lot of time when I started. I worked a block away from their primary first office that they had on 6th Street. And I used to go there at lunchtime and read books and go to their classes and things like that.
Wow.
So now I'm full circle.
Now you're
going to be
teaching.
teaching at that place.
I love it. Well, they got the best. They got the best. So I'm happy to hear that, because there are so many experiences that we can all share. It reminds me of the scripture, iron sharpens irons, right? And I love being in community with other nonprofit leaders where you're sharing resources and things that, you know, people didn't know about. I was talking with a nonprofit leader who was looking for an HR consultant, and I said, well, you might want to just start with a Taproot or a Catch a Fire if you don't have the money to hire someone. Get someone to volunteer. And these are people, you know, leaders in their profession.
Yeah, ESC has people too.
ESC, Executive Service Corps, right? Exactly. But they had never heard of these particular platforms.
Exactly, share resources.
Sharing resources
That's what we do.
Is so important, because one, there are so many kids. There's enough kids for all of us. Even when we're sharing kids, I have nonprofit leaders that they've been through my program, they've been through their program.
One of my kids has went through yours, you know, so I love that. I'm here to help them. I'm not here to keep them and trap them.
I need you to fly.
To grow. When they fly, it reflects on me. I feel like, you know, I've done my work.
Absolutely. Hopefully I put a little feather in that wing to help you just soar on your journey. And I love that.
I was going to tell you, GuideStar, TechSoup, all of these resources are things that, you know, some of them don't know, and I'm always happy to share that. I also share grant resources, and two of my clients got $800,000 grants that they wouldn't have known about if I didn't tell them. So I like being able to share that as well. You know,
Yeah.
those types of tips,
Yeah.
you know, to help people. And then I assisted them with writing the grants. So I think that's been, you know,
Oh,
something
that's even better.
Yeah, just
Oh, you
just
take it a
little
whole
bit.
step further. I can't
Well,
do
once-
all of that now because I don't like writing grants myself.
Once you're
But-
my client, you're my client.
Oh, I love
Just
that.
like
You
if
all
you join
in.
Hands for Hope, you're a Hands for Hope alumni for life. Once you're my client, you're CDNC is the name of my company.
Yeah.
You're a CDNC alumni for life.
How
So
do you
whenever you need
balance?
anything,
How do you balance?
God makes a way.
Oh, that's good. He
He
does
just-
make a way.
Out of no way, you know, whatever. Somehow I'm able to do it.
Yeah.
Somehow I'm able
gives you
to
what you
make the
need.
time available. I'm always amazed myself.
Yeah.
It's like look back and say, did I do this many things
I
this
know.
week?
That old song, my soul looks back and wonder how I got over.
Thank you. Preach, girl.
How I got
I
over.
love gospel music. Our choir just recorded a CD.
Oh,
So, you know, and I'm
congratulations.
singing on that too. So, you know,
Nice.
just I love because the lyrics say what we're
Yeah.
living right
Yeah.
now, you know. So I
It's
love
so
gospel
funny.
music.
My last three CEOs that I've interviewed all have some connection to music, whether they sing, whether they play an instrument. So I'm like, this is interesting that CEO leaders also have this creative art side to them.
It might
and
be
they're
soothing
bringing-
for us, you know.
Yeah.
That's what keeps us going, maybe.
You might be right. You absolutely might be right in terms of that. So as a leader, find your hobby and the things that you like on the side, right? To kind of help you balance and navigate.
I think so. I think it's a good idea to just have some respite, some place to turn,
Yeah.
something to turn to. That's to remove yourself for it. It's difficult. I wake up in the middle of the night
Oh,
and my
yes.
brain is on loop about things that I have to accomplish.
Speak
So-
about it. Speak about it.
But I force
the time.
myself to watch a movie or to do something to take myself away from it
Oh, that's
and then come
good.
back fresher, refreshed.
That's a really good tip. I never thought about that.
Mm-hmm.
Doing something to really take myself, because it happens to me all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I go to bed with things on my mind. I'll wake up in the middle of the night because I remembered something, even in a dream,
Mm-hmm.
that I need to do or a person I need to follow up with, and then I'm up
Well,
all
I have
night.
to write it. If I want to go back to sleep, I write it down. If I have to get up and write it down. Otherwise, it'll loop all
Yes.
till the morning. So I write it down, and then in the morning I can look at it and say, okay, I have to accomplish these things.
So you have like a journal or something by your bed,
The
or
phone, anything
the
I
phone.
can grab that will just be
smart.
able to get it out of my head onto paper, and then I'm able to go back to sleep.
That's good.
You know.
Okay, I'm gonna try that too, because I'll just get up and start doing it. I'll find a laptop, open it up, and I'll
But
start
you need that
actually working.
rest.
Yeah.
You do need that rest. So
Yeah.
you know, it can wait. It can wait till the morning at least.
It
You know,
could.
usually.
It can wait. That's going to be my phrase from it can wait.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. I'm always afraid I'm going to miss something or drop the ball in some capacity. I'm always concerned about that. I don't like dropping balls.
And we want to take advantage of opportunities too.
Yes, we
You know,
do.
we don't want to miss opportunities, and they pop up every day. You know, there's a
Yes.
grant happening. There's a thing. Are you going to the mayor when she comes to the valley? She's coming
mayor's-
to the valley.
No, I didn't even know she was coming
I'll
to
tell
the
you about that
valley.
afterwards. She's coming.
Okay.
Yeah, soon. So you know, going to that event and being
Mm-hmm.
present in those types of situations and circumstances.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make myself do all of that, but you can't do everything.
You can't.
So you know, I'm trying to pass off some things and delegate some things.
Good.
So, you know, whatever you have to do to keep yourself afloat, because
Good.
you go down, a lot goes down with you.
Good. So how does someone find you if they want to donate to Hands for Hope, or if they want to take advantage of your consultant business? Like, say, look, I'm starting a new nonprofit, or I'm a seasoned nonprofit leader, but I can use some, you know, succession planning. I need to talk to you about that, girl. But you know, they can use someone to help them navigate. How do they connect with you?
I have the simplest phone number. I'm going to go ahead and give it to you.
All right.
818-692-6600.
Oh, that is.
And I'm accessible. People can call me anytime. You can go to the website. Hands for Hope's website is Hands for Hope, or
And it's
Hands
the number
for Hope
4.
LA. Hands the number 4 Hope.
Yes.
Right. Hands plural. The number 4 Hope.
Okay.
LA, or without the LA works too. .org. And then the consulting business is SD, for stands for Simple Data, but SD nonprofitconsulting.com.
Okay. Thank
And
you.
both of those are ways to contact me.
Okay. Give me just one sentence of encouragement that you would share with any leaders, no matter what level of leadership they're on. What would you say? What advice would you give?
You had a question about what words would we associate with ourselves. And I
Yeah,
was looking
okay.
at that question and looking up,
Yes.
and I was thinking relentless. And then I was like, oh, okay, that's not a good word necessarily. So unrelenting, unapologetic, keep going.
Okay.
Keep it moving, keep
I
going.
like relentless
really
too,
feel
child. Let me tell you.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it, but
Right,
I was
right.
trying to make it spin it positive.
Yes,
that
understood.
we are warriors, just really keeping the struggle going, because these kids deserve it. They need us.
They do.
These families need us. So that's why we do it, and we have to keep going. You can't
And we need
give
one
up.
another.
Yeah. And we
Right?
help each other. That's why nonprofit leaders unite.
Yes.
Right? And then don't give up. That's the key. Unite and work with others, learn from others, and don't give up.
That's so good. Miss Lydia, thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh my,
This was fun.
I don't want to land the plane. Y'all already know I don't want to land the plane. But that is our show for today. I hope you gained some insights, some nuggets, some gems. I know you had to have gained some from Miss Lydia today to help you on your leadership journey. You heard all the ways that you can contact Lydia for more information. We'll have that in the comment section. But until next time, remember to do those 3 magical things: like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, have an amazing day on your leadership journey. Bye now.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is our show for today. I hope you were inspired and you gained some valuable nuggets that will help you to become a better leader and to walk in your God-given authority. Bye, until next time.